This is a short video focusing on bouncing, shaking, and vibration using our hands, using our voice, some sound, and then we'll also do a couple things where we'll use a Coregeous ball and 2 Therapy Plus balls. This could be any air-filled ball, or it could even be a soft pillow or a block. We're going to be using it under our sacrum on our back. And this could be 2 tennis balls, or even like a small rolled towel if you don't have either of these. But we're going to start standing. And we're going to start just by softening the knees, letting the arms dangle, and just letting the body bounce. So bouncing and vibration, sound, shaking, these are all really good ways to release tension and to create some movement within the body, and especially around and within the fascia and then the lymphatic system. Both are really vital for our body's immune system, for our kind of fighting off invaders, and just again managing stress. So easy bouncing. I'm also rocking from side to side. Could also be a one side and then the other, so we get like a front to back bounce. Let it be easy. I hold a lot of tension around my jaw and my neck, so sometimes I even just try to let my head bounce and go with it. And then if it feels okay, add your heels. So we're bouncing up and down on the heels, creating a little bit more reverberation up. Again, it could be one and then the other. A little rocking front to back, a little side to side, kind of a running pattern. This is also really good for bone health, and you'll notice you'll get your cardiovascular system working pretty quickly, so good for blood flow. And then as you're ready, see if you can shake one arm. Just let that arm shake. Let it drop down, out to the side, other side. A lot of times we focus on how strong can our muscles be, but we also need to focus on how supple or relaxed can our muscles be. Again, back to the first side. And as you do this, can you feel this shake and this vibration resonate through your body? Kind of how far does it go? Other side. And then we'll do the same thing with the leg. The leg can either be down, and you can shake this way, or I prefer to kind of channel my dogs and shake my leg out to the side. Right? Animals are really good at shaking. And again, as you do that, can you feel that resonate into your body? And a lot of us don't like to think of our body as being jiggly, but this is a good time to let that happen. And then coming back in, and see if you can let your abdomen now be soft. Again, knees are bent, hips are kind of bent a little bit, and let your abdomen just sort of hang and bounce just really subtly, that you can feel your organs start to bounce a little bit. Again, there might be a small rock from side to side. Feeling that really subtle bounce within your abdomen, within your organs. You can even put a gentle hand there and just see how much movement or lack of movement is there. And then let yourself settle. Let your eyes gently close. You can place your hands on your body somewhere, or just let your arms rest and just feel what that feels like in your body. There might be some residual kind of buzz or energy. There might be just a sense of letting go, that your body has maybe even been able to feel a bit more grounded. And we're going to do a breathing technique here called Tarzan breathing. This comes from polarity therapy. And we're going to do this facing out a window. For me, that means I'm going to be turning this way. If you can be face towards a door or a window, do that. Part of this shaking, vibration, and hear sound and a little bit of percussion is a way to release, a way to let go of holding on to tension, holding on to whatever it is. This is also really good to do outside. So we're going to do about 3 rounds of this. We're going to inhale through our nose, and then we're going to exhale with some sound and giving some gentle percussion to the rib cage. We're doing this soft and gentle to create movement and vibration around the lungs, letting our exhale maybe even be a little bit longer. So what this will look like, and we can even settle with an exhale first, letting go, full inhale, and exhaling. Letting sound come out, letting vibration come out at your own pace. Let your next inhale come. And again. Letting your breath just return back to its natural rhythm and pace. You can play around with sound, volume, pitch, all of those different things. And then from here, we're going to come and lay onto our back. Have your whatever prop you're going to use, a rolled towel, 2 tennis balls, or your Therapy Plus balls together, and your Coregeous ball, your block, or your kind of rolled pillow or blanket. Have those close by. And we'll start on our back with our body in the shape of an X. Again, let your body settle here. Just see how you feel. Taking time to settle. We've just done a lot of vibration, a lot of sounding. Thinking of that as shaking your inner snow globe. Now letting that snow settle. And we'll do that a few times. We're going to be shaking and settling our snow globe here a few times. So as you're ready, starting to create some movement, we're going to pump the feet up and down. And if it feels more comfortable for your arms to be in a different place, move them. Here we're looking for comfort. The feet aren't very wide. They're about as wide as the mat here for me. And then I'm just pumping my feet and allowing that movement to go through the body. So I feel this up to my pelvis, shoulders, all the way to my head, even out to my hands. Just trying to let the body be as relaxed as possible as my feet pump. You could do just one leg and the other. You can go back and forth. Each of these creating a rhythm. Thinking of sound waves, that they have a nice rhythm to them. Just try to find this easy rhythm. Sometimes our thinking brain, our left brain, gets in the way of our more abstract right brain. Try to just allow here more than control. As you're ready, let that settle. Take a few breaths. And then as you're ready, we're going to do a little bit of rolling from this position. From here, you're going to start with your eyes looking to one hand, taking opposite hand and reaching it over, and then giving yourself a twist. Keeping your head somewhat relaxed so it's lifted. As you return onto your back, let yourself kind of flop. So it's eyes and head first, arm reaching over opposite hand, legs stay relaxed and heavy, and reach. You can play around with weighting, flopping back. As you do this, you can play around with keeping your leg feeling weighted, feeling heavy. Maybe even making sure the legs stay separated. You can pause and breathe as you need to. Again, this flop as you return back, side to side. We'll do one more each way. Making sure the body feels controlled here. Feeling controlled, just letting go of tension, of find balance. Again, letting yourself settle, breathing easy. And then seeing if the leg can be the driver. So from here, we can either let the leg swing low and reach across the body, now keeping the arm and the head slightly weighted. You can still play with that. Again, returning with some ease. Or we can lift the leg up and really reach it across and high. And again, playing around as we reach with keeping our arm weighted. Again, just letting the legs swing or drop back. As we go, reaching, creating a reach of the leg, a weighting of the arm, making sure this feels good throughout the body. And then a swing or a drop of the leg back, and this resonant, I think of it as a resonant boing. The body just returning back. Feeling your inner spring system, your fascia, your connective tissue. How springy and adaptable we are is a really good indicator of our overall kind of wellness, right? The more rigid we get, the more brittle we might become and reactive, versus being bouncy, springy, and adaptable. One more to the other side, or evening out your sides. Even if I've got some things in the way, even if things are in the way here, we can play around with maybe the knee reaching more than the foot, right? We don't need a ton of space here. Again, swinging or dropping the leg back. Once again, breathing easy. I often like to let my eyes close here just to drop in. Feeling again that inner snow globe settling. And then from here, taking either your Therapy Plus balls or whatever else you're using to modify that, giving a small little lift of the head and letting this come somewhere underneath the neck or the throat so that the head can rest easy. I'm not at a place where my chin is really lifted up. And instead I can let my chin very gently drop, which means my head, the weight of my head is dropping towards the ground. If you need to modify the height here, you can do that by, if it's a towel, rolling it more or less. If it's the Therapy Plus balls, maybe you use some different balls instead. The regular Therapy balls are smaller. A tennis ball might be smaller. Play around for yourself. But here, let the weight of the head go. And then bring in just a small nod or shake of the head. So side to side or up and down, but very small, really easy. So whatever is underneath your neck is creating a curve, reinforcing our cervical lordosis, which many of us lose, whether it's from forward head posture or trying to force it coming back. And then this subtle shake or nod of the head is a nice way to release tension around these deep neck muscles. You can even do some small circles, both directions. And as you can tell, if you're watching at all, it's a very small move. You might even barely be able to see it. You can also do a figure 8 pattern. So I'm not using the balls to release, but instead to just create a shape of my neck, which indirectly is causing a release, but I'm not using the balls as a tool for direct massage. And then once again, just let the head settle, let your body rest. Imagine the weight of the head becoming a bit heavier. And then see how it feels. If it's comfortable, keep this underneath your neck. Find what you're gonna use, whether it's your Coregeous ball or something else. We're gonna lift into a small bridge, and we're gonna try to do that by not jamming into the balls. Many of us jam into our neck when we go into a bridge. So if the ball needs to be a little bit lower, if what you're using needs to be smaller, go ahead and do that in order to kind of, again, know this relationship between your pelvis and your neck, or your low back and your head. So it's a small lift, sliding the ball underneath, and not jamming into the balls here. The pressure might change some, but I didn't jam my head and neck back. From here again, try to let the head relax. If that doesn't feel comfortable, then again, modify or maybe even remove what's underneath your head. And from here, just starting to waggle or sway the pelvis from side to side now. So before we did head, now we're doing pelvis. You can almost imagine this like a craniosacral treatment, right? We're releasing tension from where the cranium meets the spine and from where the sacrum meets the pelvis. So a little side to side rock, a little front to back rock. And again, small, right? Not big, huge moves, but more just subtle rocking. This idea of rocking, shaking, vibration, these are all things that are very soothing for the nervous system. If we think of a crying baby, these are all things we would do to soothe the baby, right? We'd rock, we'd bounce, we'd maybe sing a lullaby or hum. So think that you're soothing your own inner baby, your own inner self. Letting shoulders relax, letting head relax, just very small movements of the pelvis. Circles can sometimes be mentally or cognitively confusing, so if that's confusing, don't feel like you have to add a circle, but if a circle comes, allow it. If it's easier for you to just stick with kind of your knees rocking or your pelvis swaying, your pelvis tucking and tilting, just stick with that. And again, head is relaxed. Notice how much the head might want to drive. Our head, our eyes, they're really big drivers. See if you can let that go. Let the head be heavy. And then once again, let yourself pause and breathe. If knees want to knock together, that's fine. If it feels comfortable for legs to be where they are, let that be. And then as you feel ready, again, with as little force into the neck as you can, tuck the pelvis, use your legs, use your thoracic spine, and then release down. Ball comes out. Support the head as you need to. Balls under the neck come out. And then return back to your X. And just check in with how you feel. How your body is making contact, how your breath is. Maybe just an overall feeling of state of mind, state of body. And then using either the arm driver or the leg driver, take your time to roll over and then readjust yourself if you're on a mat, or stay where you are if not. And we're now going to try to do some rocking in this prone position. So from here, let your head rest on the ground. I'm going to prop my head up just for talking, but let your head rest down. And from here, tuck and tilt the pelvis. It's more of an active tuck and then kind of a letting go to tilt. Active tuck and let it go. And once again, can you feel this movement resonate through your body? It's going to feel very different than what you did on your back and what we've done in standing. It's more subtle, but can you feel that there's a global pattern of change when we tuck the pelvis, when we let it go? And then as you're ready, come up to forearms. You can be kind of wide through your forearms. You can be narrow through your forearms. Decide where that feels comfortable. And this time, as you tuck the pelvis, imagine pushing your forearms or hands forward. And as you let it go, pull your forearms down. So active tuck and press. And then a letting go with a pull of the arms. And these are very subtle. You might subtly see this movement happening. There is some global movement happening, but I'm not using my big muscles to do this. I'm trying to almost work with my breath. Inhale and exhale. Kind of a modified version of cat and cow. You might also notice that this looks like Sphinx, and then this almost will start to look like a kneeling plank. Could become bigger. We're just going to stay small with it. So again, just this subtle rocking. We'll do just a couple more. And then in any way that feels good, press yourself up and come into some version of all fours. It might be that your fingers are turned out. It might be that your hands are more forward than your shoulders. Do what feels good for your wrists and for your body. And again, just start to rock side to side, front to back. Slightly less prescribed movement here. Maybe circles come in, right? Our body moves in all different planes of movement, planes of motion. So find where it feels good, back off where it doesn't. I'm even doing kind of an arcing pattern now. You can do a high arc or a low arc. There's front to back, there's side to side movement. Again, maybe letting the head sway a bit. Doing circles, make sure to do both directions of the circle. And then again, pausing in the middle, just taking a breath here, seeing how you feel in all fours. In any way that feels good, we're going to press our way up to a forward fold. So you might come back through puppy or down dog, right? Puppy here. Down dog lifting higher. You might just press up, walk in any way that feels good, and then let your knees bend. Let yourself again kind of here bounce, so hands can be on the ground, hands could be to opposite elbow. Let yourself sway, let your legs bounce, bend, whatever feels good, just some freedom here. And then again, try to really let go of the head. Sometimes I'll even cup the head, imagining the hands like a bowl for the head to rest in. Letting go of this very high spot on the spine, right where the spine meets the skull. Letting go there, bending knees as much as needed to let the low back also release. And once again, see how it feels to let your body rock, your torso rock from side to side, head relaxed. And then again, coming back to center, just taking a nice sighing exhale here. Maybe even a further head nod. On your next inhale, let your hands come up to your knees. Slowly start to bring your head and your spine up with you. So our gaze now is more towards the floor. Our tailbone is slightly up. As you're ready, hands to your hips. Imagine your elbows coming together so your chest starts to come forward. And then maybe slide your fingertips to face down. Pull your sacrum down as you lift up tall. And then from here, once again, just shake out in any way that feels good. We've done arms, we've done legs, we've done a full bounce. It might even be a little bit through the head. even be a rotation or a swing of the body this way. All right, all different ways that we can move and release. And then again, find stillness, either standing with hands at side, in at heart center, or even again somewhere on your body, letting your body settle, feeling your heartbeat, feeling that flow of energy, flow of fluids within the body. Noticing the breath, and noticing again state of mind, state of body. Has there been a shift? Thanks for joining.